Hello and welcome to another episode of BB's cooking show. Yesterday I made ice cream and I've uploaded an ice cream video that you can see on my channel. I will link it in the description. And in that video we separate eggs. We use egg yolks in the ice cream and now we have 4 egg whites. And I want to share with you a nice recipe that you can make that you could even pair with the ice cream. You know, if you are having guests over, it's a nice pair of for a dessert, I guess. I like this recipe because it doesn't have any flour in it. It's a cookie without flour, and that is very good for me and those who are having difficulty digesting grains. So it's a grain-free recipe. I think you classify coconuts as nuts. But they don't have a lot of anti-nutrients and they are considered relatively easy to digest, and I agree. Anyway, so it's delicious. It doesn't have a lot of ingredients. It's basically just butter, coconut, eggs, and sugar. So that's super easy. I've already measured 130 grams of coconut and 90 grams of butter, unsalted. And we are going to start by browning the butter and the coconut a little bit on the pan first to create some more sweetness from the coconut and to get more flavor. And since it's not going to be like a white coconut cookie because I'm using coconut sugar, I don't care about the browning, you know. So it will just mean we will get more flavor, more sugar from the coconut, and then we will whip up the egg whites, mix it together and bake some nice coconut cookies. So let's start by putting the butter in the pan to melt. I don't want to take it too far with the browning because we also want to have some room for browning in the oven. You know, you don't want to burn the coconut in the oven. So as soon as you see a golden color, you just turn the heat off and then put it aside to cool. Let's begin. Yeah, I like this recipe also because you can do so many different things with this dough. You could also just bake it as a cake, you know, and then top it with whipped cream and fruit or something, make like a nice cake out of it. You can also, like what I did was I had them in the fridge and I just crumbled them up to make like a parfait with cream and jam and fruit. That was very nice. I like to keep them in the fridge because I like the texture. It becomes very bounty-like. So you could also cover them with chocolate, maybe even put them in the freezer. I think that would be fine as well. So it's a very nice, versatile dough you can play with. This takes a good while, so just be patient. But you want to continuously stir it so that we get an even browning on the coconut. Could you skip this step because it takes a long time? Yeah, sure. But then you don't get the same flavor out of it and you don't get the same level of sweetness. Yeah, I mean, try it. Go ahead. Okay, now it's starting to brown a bit, if you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat off now. I think this is enough browning for me. And now I will set it aside to another plate. You can also just wait for it to cool down a bit. It doesn't have to be cold at all, but just not hot. We don't want to cook the eggs before it goes in the oven. Okay, so now I will just let this cool for a bit. And it is a good time now to turn on the oven, clean the pan, and whip up the eggs. We will use 180°C for the heat. Yeah, we can then mix in the sugar now and set this aside while we take care of the eggs. This is 50 grams of coconut sugar. You can use 60 grams as well. I just found it was a little bit too sweet, but you can add 60 grams if you like it a bit sweeter. Yeah, just mix it well so that it's ready for the eggs. No lumps of sugar. And yeah, stir it around to help it cool down as well. That's good. But we also don't want the butter to get cold, you know? So don't put it in the fridge or anything. Okay, now I will whip up the eggs that I set aside yesterday for the ice cream, the egg whites. And you can only use these egg whites if you didn't get any egg yolk in there, because any fat will prevent these eggs to fluff up. So, and then we will basically just fold the eggs carefully into the coconut, very carefully. And then we will put them in these muffin forms. I made them without any shape last time, you know, and they were quite ugly, randomly shaped. So I think this is a good idea to just pour them into this muffin form, and then they will have a decent shape. You could also, I guess, put them in a pastry bag, squeeze them out through a nice shape, but I'm afraid that the eggs would lose a bit of their fluff that way, so I think this is a pretty good idea. And this takes a while, so be patient as well. So we want stiff peaks. We don't want it to fall out. And now we're going to fold in the egg white into the coconut. I will just show you. You need to. This is a delicate part of the job. Oh yeah, and we have 15 cookies now. You can also make a cake, a whole cake, as I say. You just kind of let it bake for 10 minutes, and then you can peek inside and see what's going on. And we want them to be pretty golden brown. So anyway, let me get to work here. You want to kind of lighten the coconut with a bit of egg first, so do it in steps. It's okay if you can still see a bit of egg in the dough, so don't go too far with the mixing, but you want it to be pretty even though. Yeah, I added a bit of salt also, because that always helps with the sweetness. And now I'm just gonna scoop the dough into the muffin forms. Okay, now let's bake. Before we bake, we want to make sure that they're sort of evenly portioned here. It's a bit tricky because you have to move, you have to work kind of relatively fast. And then I'm just gonna see how I can spread them out, sort of. Okay, in they go for like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, but yeah, around that time, let's see. Depends on the shape and the thickness and everything, so we will have to follow a bit. So, okay, let's put them in. I like how they are shaped. I turned them around after 10 minutes, just for even browning, so it was 15 minutes in total. Okay, let's try one. I'm actually not in the mood for this at all, to be honest with you. I like them warm out of the oven because they have this nice crunchy outside and then the soft inside. So I recommend serving them warm, but they're also very nice cold, and then they become sort of bounty-like. And I think even if you would freeze them, that would also be great. Okay, so here they are. Really good. But you kind of have to be in the mood for it. It's that kind of flavor. Very coconutty. Very good texture. I mean, no one would believe that this is without flour and sugar. I mean, there's coconut sugar, but it's a better sugar. But yeah, I recommend 50 grams of coconut sugar, not 60, because these are sweet. And you don't want them to be too sweet, then they become like, oh, you know. Very nice. And also, you could actually freeze these cookies and then top them with ice cream or something, you know? Make like a small ice cream cake. It's a nice idea. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope you got inspired. And I will see you for the next episode, which I don't know what's gonna be. We'll see. Yum, yum, yum. Bye.